welcome back to another episode of Midway Moments Podcast. I'm Grayson Vandergrift, the mayor of Midway. I'm here with my wonderful wife, Katie.
Good morning, good afternoon.
You look fresh from going down to Sarasota. You look rejuvenated, ready to attack the world again. Also here with Marie McLam. She works with the Woodford County Chamber of Commerce, and she also has the Midway Art Studio downtown Midway, which has been doing so much cool stuff. Emily Downey's in the house because we're missing Corey Cooley today. We'll get to why he was suspended from this episode later. Well, he also had a closing. He had to go make some money. We understand that too. And Tim Holland is our guest. Tim Holland is the first return guest on the Midway Moments Podcast. It's a true honor. Yeah, no, we're tickled to have you. We're going to be talking about his Derby insights again. A lot of people have been asking when this episode's going to come out. So here it is, folks. But first, we got to start by talking about what's going on in Midway. And there's a lot to talk about. We did an episode 2 months ago, and a lot's happened since then. So let's jump right in. The Bruin Bunker has opened on Bruin Street, 109 Bruin Street in the old Midway Fire Department. I don't know how many people in this room have been to it yet. I don't know how many people. I think we've all been to it. Emily's been there too. I mean, how amazing is this place?
It's lovely.
Isn't it great?
Oh, I love it.
The vibe there. I know I always Katie makes fun of how much I talk about vibes. Yeah, and the ribbon cutting, I said vibes out the yin yang, and Katie's been making fun of me for that ever since.
I don't think I'm the only one.
It's a great modern and a great 90s saying all rolled into one sentence. But it's amazing. Though these guys, Tanner and Alden and Joseph, they're young guys. They got young kids. They have other jobs. They're just hustling to make money for their families and do something they love. And what I love about the Bruin Bunker, it's not just a bar. It's not just a golf simulator place, which is also amazing. Those golf simulators are state of the art. It's like a place they want families to be able to hang out in. And there is such a great family atmosphere to that place too. So if you haven't checked that place out, absolutely incredible. And it's not just beer. I mean, people think of it, Bruin Bunker, it's probably just beer. They got full bar.
They're going to up their bourbon game as well.
Yeah, they're going to add even more. They've got a good selection already, but they're going to add even more bourbons.
They have curated.
There's food trucks. I think you mentioned that. The Wandering Dog has been there a lot. That's a local food truck with amazing hot dogs. If you haven't tried that new Pico dog, they use ingredients they get from Don Jockey. It's incredible. Anyway,
order from Goose,
yeah.
I believe.
There's a special menu that Goose provides, and not only can you order from Goose will deliver, the Goose and Gander will deliver the food to you at the Bruin Bunker. So even though they don't have a commercial kitchen in there yet, they have food trucks every day, and/or you have this connection to downtown where you can order food downtown and even have it delivered up there to the Bruin Bunker. So if you haven't checked that out, please check it out. It's a great spot. And for the first time in, since the 1980s, Midway's got a hardware store. The Ace Hardware opened in Midway, and I could see a lot of places being like, "Oh, what's the big deal? You opened a hardware store." Versailles has. Well, I don't know if Versailles has more than one themselves, but we haven't had any in a long time. You've had to go to Lowe's in Frankfurt, or you've had to go somewhere in Versailles or somewhere in Georgetown if you needed a hammer and a nail or some screws or paint. And they have all kinds of stuff. They have dog food, Katie, I believe.
They do. So I was just telling them before, when they first opened, a friend of ours went, and I needed cat litter.
Yeah.
So he asked them, and they didn't have it.
Yeah.
But then they went ahead and got themselves
a
pet section.
Yeah, they stocked it. Yeah, they
Now
added a
cat
pet
food,
section.
Dog food, all of it.
Raj and the gang are so responsive to the community. In fact, I got to give them credit. When they first bought that property, they were eyeing things that I don't think the community would have wrapped its arms around as much. And they took some advice from us and others, and they did something that the community really needed, and I think it's a perfect fit. I'm so tickled to have it. I've already been down there several times just to get something that just like, it's so nice on a weekend to drive right down the road and not have to go to another city. So kudos to them. They've also been, if you don't follow the Ace Hardware, it's Midway Ace Hardware, I think, on Facebook. They do like giveaways sometimes. They've given away a grill. They've given away a couple other things, like nice stuff. So you can be part of that. They're totally involved in this community. And there's also more coming on. Congratulations to Midway University, another successful year, another year where they didn't raise tuitions. I've lost track of how many years in a row they've froze tuitions, but it just shows the financial success and the smart planning they've had. They've got their commencement coming up. So keep in mind on May 9th, there might be a little bit of extra activity in town with Midway University commencement, and I think their largest graduating class ever. Every year they break that record again, which is exciting. So be on the lookout for that. Be on the lookout for the first block party of the year. The block party kickoff series is May 23rd from 5 to 10. That'll be in downtown Midway. These things are always super fun, always super popular. The name of the band is Canvas. 6 to 10. Canvas is playing from 7 to 10. So I said the time wrong. It's from 6 to 10 Saturday night. Canvas is playing from 7 to 10. Local artists and vendors and artisans, arts and crafts, foods and treats, community organizations, beer and wine. And some shops will be open late. And, of course, the restaurants will be hopping and ready to serve you. And having said that, let me go back because people might be saying, hey, when are those first places open? The Brew and Bunker is open Monday through Thursday, 1 p.m. to 10 p.m., Friday through Saturday, 12 p.m. to 12 a.m., Sunday, 12 to 10. And then the Midway Ace Hardware is Monday through Friday, 7 a.m. to 8 p.m., Saturday, 8 a.m. to 8 p.m., Sunday, 9 a.m. to 6 p.m. So basically it's open every day till 8 p.m. except for Sundays open at 6 p.m. All right.
Well,
yeah, go ahead.
One thing, not to say breaking news, but we have had a soft opening of a new pub in town.
Yeah, we did. Yeah.
Serendipity. House.
Yeah.
That opened, I think, just a few days ago.
We weren't invited. Yeah, we weren't invited.
I was out
Where
of
is
town.
that?
Okay.
Where Kenny did.
You're gonna
the
love
art
this,
studio.
Tim.
It's an English style pub.
It's like an English style pub, Tim.
Yeah,
you're
but
you're
where
gonna
is
love
it?
it. So on this side of the street that we're on, we're above the Midway Museum right now. Mm-hmm. It's just go past Grey Goose, or Goose and Gander. Still, old habits die hard. It's the next one past Goose and Gander, where Kenny did Gallery used to be, and where the coffee house was before that.
Yeah.
And good thing you brought that up. This is why you put a good team that's better than you around you. Henry Zahn runs the place. I saw pictures. I saw it from the outside. I was peering through the window because I wasn't invited, and I was just coldly staring through that glass was pressed against my eyes. But it looked beautiful inside.
What's their hours?
Oh boy, Tim. Yeah,
See, that was a soft opening.
he's a soft opening, but hard questions from Tim Holland.
Sorry.
No, I don't know yet, Tim, to be honest with you, but good question. So be on the lookout for Serendipity's also open. Gosh, there's just so much to do in Midway. It's insane. If you live here, there's really no reason to leave, especially since you don't actually have to leave to get even hardware supplies anymore. Yeah. If you have to go to the airport, I guess that's one trick. We don't have an airport yet. I'm kidding. That's a joke. But anyway, be on the lookout. Yeah, Serendipity is also open or opening very soon. They've done their soft opening for last night, and apparently, I saw pictures. It looks amazing. And hey, since we're not going to have another episode beforehand, I also want to remind people that May 25th is the Midway Memorial Day ceremony. We'll be out at Midway Cemetery at 10 a.m. Always solemn. Always a moving ceremony. It's just a beautiful setting, and that monument's truly remarkable. It's not normal for cities to have our size. It's not normal for us to have such a beautiful and moving monument, but that's just what people at Midway do. They do big things like that. Always have. So come out on May 25th at 10 a.m. and enjoy for a short ceremony, 25 to 30 minutes, honoring all those who gave everything in the service of our country. And last for what's going on in Midway, although I could go on for days, but we got to get to bigger stuff. We got Derby highlights and Derby predictions and insights and connections from Tim Holland here in a moment. But another movie recently was shot here in Midway. This is becoming a good trend for us. I think it's going to happen more and more and more that we're going to see more films being shot here. So much to the point that we actually realize we now have to create an actual film permit here in Midway. We don't even have a filming permit in our city government. We just have been using old encroachment permit forms essentially. But this movie is called Silver Bells at Christmas. Now I think that's the final title. It was kind of a working title, but I think they've settled on it. Silver Bells at Christmas, kind of a Hallmark movie. They shot it in downtown Midway among other places as well. I thought they did a really good job. I thought they were very courteous, and I thought it was kind of exciting. You were down here with me when they were shooting on that Friday night of Keeneland, and there was just a big buzz all around. People were kind of watching the movie being shot. Wasn't that cool? What's interesting about that, Alan Forbes, the producer, has a previous tie to Midway in the sense that he was involved in the movie Simpatico. And we're going to have some interesting talk about this in a moment. This is one of the things Tim's going to talk about, some Derby connections to Simpatico. So it all ties in. Tim Holland, this is what the people have logged into this today for, to hear your insights. Tim Holland, of course, is a handicapper for Churchill Downs, long-time handicapper. The reason I have money in my FanDuel account is because I listened to him last year, and I bet on Sovereignty, which he was one of his predictions. He said, look out for Sovereignty. Sovereignty won. I won $180 thanks to this guy over here. I think I bet $20 to win or something like that. I forget how I bet it. Yeah. And I've been slowly, I occasionally will bet on FanDuel on sports. I lose every time except for when I listen to Tim Holland. So I've slowly been losing that 180, but there's still some in my account. You know who was here and decided not to listen to the expert? Corey Cooley. Yeah. Corey, as smart as he is and great as a guy, he didn't bet Sovereign. Now he went
on the long shot.
He went on your long shot bet. Yeah,
was no good.
Yeah, that was the D. Wayne Lucas horse, right?
Horse, yeah.
So he did listen to you. He just he wasn't like me, man. I was reading you, man. I was like, this is what Tim's really saying. And Corey, smart as he is, great of a guy as he is, he didn't make that bet, so he didn't make that money. But I did, Tim. And that's really all that matters. That's why he's on suspension today. He actually wanted to be here. He had to go make a little money. But Tim, welcome.
Yes.
I'll let you. We're gonna poke and prod and ask questions. But you take us in this. Your Derby insights, your connections, Midway, Woodford County, all the things you think the people want to hear.
So last year seemed a little bit easier with Sovereignty. I was pretty struck with that horse. This year, I've been going round and round and round. Originally, my horse was called Renegade, and then he drew the one hole. No horse has won from the one hole since Ferdinand, 1986. Mm-hmm. So obviously, it's very, very hard to win from the one hole. Then I got off him, and I got on a horse called Further Ado. And I was going to talk about Further Ado a little bit. He was very impressive, winning the Bluegrass Stakes by 11 lengths. And he's actually bred just down the road here by John Oxley, who owns, him and his wife own Fawnleap Farm. It's the first farm on the right as you go out towards Versailles. John Oxley actually owned Monarchus, who won the Derby in 2001. Who was actually the second ever fastest Derby winner of all time, only just behind Secretariat.
Wow, that's good.
The one and only.
I think I read that Secretariat is in the bloodlines of all but one.
A lot, yes, a lot. Yeah, he was. His bloodline's very strong. Mm-hmm. But Further Ado, I don't know. He became my pick the other night, and. He is actually my company that I work for, Bristnet. They say he's a standout, a lock, but I'm not seeing it quite that way.
But a great Midway connection there. That's a Midway horse. Further Ado. That's John Oxley and Fawnleap Farm. Excellent. Okay.
Now, John Oxley bred that horse, and they sold that horse for $500,000 or something to Spendthrift. John Oxley himself actually does own another horse in the race called Silent Tactic, who's the number 13. And that was a horse he bought for $500,000, funny enough. And that horse, Silent Tactic always runs his race, but he just sometimes can't quite get there. Kind of interestingly reminiscent of that horse's stallion, sire, was called Tacitus, and he made a lot of money, but never could quite get the job done. So then, for a while there, I'm on this horse called Chief Wallaby, and he has the same connections as last year's winner, Sovereignty. Same trainer, same jockey. And incidentally, he also, as Sovereignty did, managed to get beaten the Florida Derby in his most recent outing. But the difference between this horse and Sovereignty, I think, is this horse is much more inexperienced, Chief Wallaby. And I also don't really like the fact, even though how can you doubt a trainer like Bill Mott, that he's put blinkers on this horse for the first time. And to make that kind of equipment change going into a big race, it's kind of to me, it's a little bit of a red flag.
Katie comes from the horse industry, so she knows what that means. But what are blinkers? Something around the eyes?
Yeah, they like a hood over the eyes. It's really to make a horse focus and maybe show more early speed in the race and be
Kind
more
of what
focused.
we have to do for Mac to get him to eat because he gets
Yeah.
so distracted.
Yeah,
right
yeah,
now.
yeah.
We have to literally just cover him.
Yeah, right.
That's kind of the same thing. Yeah.
Only Mac's
So-
not seeing horses come up around him; he's seeing siblings come up around him. So,
Yeah.
but it's kind of the
Gotcha.
same thing, right? It keeps the horse from kind of freaking out, maybe by seeing.
Distraction.
Yeah, to try to keep the
Focus.
horse more
It's
focused.
like ADHD. It's like ADHD meds for horse, but it's not meds. It's just a thing you put on their face, right? Katie's
Yes.
looking at me very skeptically right now. Okay, she's giving me the shush. Just wrap it up, please. All right, sorry, Tim. Go ahead. So Bill Mott has recently added blinkers.
Yeah, and apparently he did have a workout with the blinkers on, and it went extremely well.
Is it
what
normal
I'm
for
reading.
Derby horses to have blinkers on? Is that I just never noticed that? I guess maybe I don't know what to look for.
I mean, a lot of these horses will have blinkers on.
Okay.
In fact, Bob Baffert has a horse called Litmus Test in there who's a big long shot, and he's also got blinkers on for the first time.
Okay.
Is this
Which-
something you can read off their?
Yeah. So Tim's
Yeah,
looking.
I mean,
Tim's
like,
got the sheets here. He's reading off these
Yeah.
sheets. It's like it looks like
Yeah.
it looks like a NASA sheet that they use to go to the moon. And Tim can read it all. To me, it's a bunch of numbers and words.
Yeah, so Litmus Test, the fact that he's got blinkers on tells me that horse is probably going to try to get out to the early lead and be one of the speed horses.
Okay.
So we were talking about Chief Wallaby there for a second, and this horse is owned by Mike and Catherine Ball, who own the very beautiful farm, Donnemar Farm, which is, if you've never been down Yarnelton, it's well worth a drive down there just to see that, South Yarnelton. And I guess that's where we were going to tie into the movie
Yeah,
a little
right.
bit. A lot of the movie Simpatico, that was an absolute flop, despite being written by our own Sam Shepard.
Sam Shepard
Midway.
wrote it. I didn't know he wrote that movie.
The play. It was originally a play. The cast was Nick Nolte, Jeff Bridges, Sharon Stone, and Albert Finney were all in that movie. And a lot of that movie was filmed right here in Midway, but was also filmed a lot on the most beautiful farm, Donnemar Farm. And that's why we were sort of tying that in a little bit. Mike
world.
and KK Ball, Catherine Ball goes by KK. They've been in the industry forever, breeding their own horses. But just these last few years, they've started upping the game, spending more money on breedings. And this is obviously a very well-bred horse, Chief Wallaby. I just can't get over the inexperienced thing and the blinkers on for the first time. I just don't know. So that led me to Renegade. I was back on Renegade, but he drew the one hole. But Arad Ortiz is the leading jockey in America, and he chose this horse over several others that he could have ridden, including Further Ado. But that one hole is obviously the big worry. But now I look at it more and more and more. I think there's going to be an awful lot of speed in here, and Renegade just has the finishing kick.
And it sounds like maybe Litmus Test will be one of those kind
Yeah,
of pace
I
setters.
think he'll be out in the lead, and there's also this horse from Dubai, 6-speed, who's extremely fast. He's in the 17 hole, and I know he's going to be getting out there to the lead. And I think there'll be a few others, and so I think it'll be a very fast run race, which will help horses like Renegade close. So maybe he can overcome that one hole.
Well, it looks like 6-speed here was bred at Katie Ridge Farm, which is down the road.
That's
So
exactly
it's
right.
not Midway, but
Yep.
close enough.
Donnemere,
Yeah.
Donnemere was the name of the other farm. That's
Yeah.
probably either Fayette or Scott.
Fayette.
It's Fayette.
Donnemar, yeah, I think that's Fayette, yeah.
Before we get to like just all the Woodford and Midway horses that people are, those connections. So no one's won from the one hole since 1986, Ferdinand. So that plays against Renegade, the fact that Renegade's got great speed. Then you got
No, Renegade's actually a stone cold closer.
Oh, it's a closer, so he's not necessarily going to come out. Okay, gotcha.
He won the Arkansas Derby very impressively, but all the way around, Arad was like holding him back.
Oh,
Wow.
wow.
And maybe that was trying to get a little bit more practice for when he's in this type of race where there's going to be a lot of speed.
What do you think a horse has got to do to avoid the trend of not being able to win from the one hole? Do they get trapped in? Is that what happens?
Yeah, they've kind of changed the gate situation where it's not as bad to be in the one hole as what it used to be. But this horse, he's just going to have to work out a trip. I mean, he's coming from way back, far back out of it. If anybody can do it, Arad Ortiz, I mean, he's a brilliant jockey. If anybody can do it, he can do it. But that leads me back to Further Ado. Further Ado won the Bluegrass very impressively, 11 lengths, as we mentioned. And Arad Ortiz got off him, but instead, now we got John Velasquez. And this horse gets a perfect post. John Velasquez is one of the best, possibly the best. He's won the Derby 3 times already. And he comes from the 18 hole. Right to his inside is 6-Speed, who I believe is going to be the pace setter, probably the fastest horse early. Further Ado could get a perfect trip. But that being said, Arad Ortiz got off him, so that makes it confusing. And also, Further Ado somehow got himself beat in the Tampa Bay Derby for no apparent reason. Beat a very weak field in the Bluegrass, I think, but won it easily. Further Ado also has a win over the Churchill Downs track in the Kentucky Jockey Club stakes last year, which is a plus. So the bottom line is, I'm pretty confused. But I'm going with Further Ado, Chief Wallaby, and Renegade.
All right.
But not necessarily in that order.
Sure. You heard it here first, folks. This guy called sovereignty last year. Just saying. And I know this is there's so much science behind this, but there's also so much that can be to chance, right? Do we get a muddy field that day? Is it, there's so many things.
Yeah,
change,
I mean, there's
right?
a chance of rain too, and that might change everything.
Sure.
But I mean, it's very hard to factor in a sloppy track. I mean, how do you change anything?
Right.
Who do you think is going to be the odds-on favorite?
Well, nobody. The morning line guy made Renegade the favorite at 4-1.
Okay.
And that was before the post positions were drawn. And somebody asked him, well, would you knock it up a little bit? And he said, no, I can't get into all of that at this stage. But I believe 4-1's probably a little low. I think this the favorite will be like 5 or 6-1, which is quite generous. But then we're talking about it's a 20-horse field. So
Boy, it feels pretty wide open. Yeah.
It's wide open. So
wow, that kind of makes it fun to bet, though, too. I think when it's wide open,
it is.
Sometimes when there's like a favorite that's like just a clear favorite, to me it makes it harder to bet. Sometimes.
But this could be a year where any one of the horses that we haven't even mentioned could jump up and win. And
right, there's 24 right now on the books, right? I mean, who knows if that's what it finishes being, but
Any of the also eligibles, if they slide in, do you have any
I
insight?
do not like any of the also eligibles. So if there is a scratch, the also eligibles will be my first throwouts in this race, I believe.
well, if you don't mind, let's cover real quick just kind of Woodford County horses / any Midway connections. We know that we already know Further Ado is just as you leave Midway, Fond Leap Farm. Other interesting, especially Midway or Woodford County connections. Just the horses either bred here or the.
Katie mentioned 6-Speed. Yeah, bred just down the road, Katie Rich. That's still
Katie
in
Rich
Woodford
Farm.
County, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is Katie Rich Woodford
I
County?
feel it's kind of on that. line of
We'll annex it.
Scott
We'll
County.
annex. Yeah, we'll take
Yeah.
it. That's fine.
Yeah.
We'll annex it. It's not a
But
big
this
deal.
horse, he's extremely fast, has a great pedigree. He's going to be a great price. But no horse has ever been able to win the Derby coming from Dubai yet. And I think this horse is just a pace factor to me. I think he'll be out there, but there'll be others trying to get the lead too, and he'll be just setting it up for somebody to close.
Chief Wallaby's not necessarily Woodford County, but real close.
It's close, yeah.
You said, what's Donnemeyer? Is that
Donnemeyer
I don't know how I don't know
yeah,
that farm.
Yeah,
Shows what I know.
Yarnelton.
Are there any? I see. I see the Three Chimneys owns Great White.
Yeah, he. I guess that horse is probably not going to get in. There needs to be a scratch.
Oh, it's an also eligible, isn't it? Never
Yeah.
mind. Yeah, I see that. Okay.
And I honestly don't think. I mean, how can that horse? He got beat 22 lengths in the bluegrass.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't.
I say yeah, like I know what I'm talking about. Like, yeah, I agree, Tim. Like I know what I'm
He
talking
was
about.
having a bad day.
Yeah, he was
Well,
having a bad day. You know?
It was a
Real
terribly.
He was
terribly
hungover.
bad day.
The horse, the horse had drank a little bit too much
Yeah.
the night before. I see another John Oxley on here, right? He owns Silent Tactic.
Yes.
Is that right?
He owned, yeah. I think we mentioned that earlier. It's interesting that he sold Further Ado for 500,000, and he buys Silent Tactic for 500,000. So he kind of did the switcheroo.
What
there.
did he see there? What did he see?
Now, Don Alberto was a farm
Yes.
that used to be over
Yeah.
Yarnelton and
It's
Spur.
it's right on the corner there of
Okay.
Yarnelton and
used to-
Leestown
I
Road.
drove that way a lot.
Yeah,
so I've-
yeah. Don Alberto, yeah.
So did I get this right? The horses you like the most are Further Ado, Chief Wallaby, and Renegade, or did I get that wrong? All
That's
right.
it. But
All right.
not necessarily
Not
in
in that order necessarily, but those three horses keep a lookout for. Further Ado, that's a Midway. I mean, that's just outside of Midway officially. Further Ado, Chief Wallaby, close connection, and Renegade. Where does Renegade come from here?
Well, he was bred. I'm not sure where they bought the horses. Robert Lowe, and was sold for nearly $1 million.
Ooh.
So obviously very expensive.
Yeah.
Actually, the breeders did keep part of that horse, and they sold to the majority owner would be Mike Rapoli's stable, who is a New York guy, and some people seem to kind of get rubbed the wrong way by him. They think he's a little bit arrogant.
He's like, I'm
But-
walking here.
But
here.
he has some really, he's big time into the thoroughbred aftercare
Yeah.
and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I personally think he's a good guy, and I'd like to see him win. I think this would be another Derby for
You
him.
got to appreciate the aftercare aspect of that. For
Oh,
sure.
absolutely.
Let me
yeah,
ask you a
it's very
question.
important.
So you said Irad Ortiz was running on Further Ado,
Yes.
and then switch. Like, why does that? I know you might not know exactly why, but like, why does that kind of thing happen right before Derby?
It's funny, they were interviewing him earlier today. I think I saw it or somewhere, and he said, my agent picks the horses for me.
Ah, okay.
He has a great agent.
It's always a good idea to just throw
And
the agent under the bus.
He
Yeah, that's
says,
what they get
I
paid
don't make that decision. I don't want to cross that line.
for. Okay, sure.
I just go with what my agent says.
Okay. So John Velasquez, also a great jockey, as you said.
Yeah.
Ends up on.
He picks up the mount on,
But
on
does
that
does that
horse.
mess with the horse at this point? You think at all?
A different rider?
Yeah.
No, not at all.
Okay. All right.
No, I mean, somebody like John Velasquez can get on any horse and
If a horse could
Pull
be
out
in
the
here
best.
right now, I have a feeling it would look at me and go, Grayson, you're an idiot. All right, just shut up and let Tim talk. But little Mr. Ed vibes.
So we also have, not to help you out with that,
Oh, I was going to go on an amazing riff, but it's cool.
number
Go ahead.
11, incredible Pin Oak stud. That is another
Yeah,
Woodford
Yeah.
County
that's
connection.
close by.
Yeah.
Yep,
So-
absolutely. Yep.
We'll
Yep.
give Woodford County love.
We got a
always.
pin oak pin oak flag right outside of this building we're talking
Oh,
about.
did
I
we
can
get
see
the
it from right
Keeneland-
here.
The Keeneland flags got up?
Oh, that's cute, Katie. Yeah, it's real funny. It's the thanks a lot. Katie's doing some some poking at me for the flags being down temporarily to shoot a movie that's going to be a bigger hit than
I
Simpatico.
don't think I was making fun of you, to
Yeah.
be fair.
I am predicting that Silver Bells at Christmas will be a bigger hit than Simpatico. Look, not to get off the horse thing, but let's talk about it for a second. How does Simpatico be a flop? So the play is probably incredible. That's why it became a movie, because Sam Shepard, I think it was his playwriting that really sets him out. I mean, he's a great actor, don't get me wrong, but his playwriting is what they'll be talking about, I think, a lot longer than his acting.
The one thing I read in the reviews of it was that it became too complicated and people couldn't understand it. It was basically about a horse racing scam where they were switching horses around or something. I can't, it's been so long since I saw the movie, I can't really remember, but that was basically the plot.
Oh.
And it just became too confusing.
Yeah. They also couldn't get Nick Nolte they kept having to go down to Yunt's and fish him out of there.
Yeah. Well, he was actually playing. He was playing a kind of a drinking
Gruff.
type person, gruff
little-
person. I mean, he was suited to that role perfectly.
Sure. Maybe a little character acting on Nick's part.
Yes. Yeah. Absolutely.
He was hanging out. He was with Gene and Bruce and the boys down
And
at
the
Yunt's
boys, yeah,
a little too often.
Yeah, possibly. Yeah. This movie was 1999, so.
So 99's when that movie came out.
Yeah.
What? Tell me the cast again. Remember, the cast you rattled off earlier was incredible.
Well, Nick Nolte, Jeff Bridges, Sharon Stone, who I can remember being in that, and Albert Finney.
Wow. Jeff Bridges was this is like Big Lebowski era Jeff Bridges. It's like Jeff Bridges at the top of his game. Yeah, it's amazing when you get that many stars together for a movie that just doesn't work in the end. But I bet it's cool to see it. I want to see it now. I didn't realize it was that recent.
Albert Finney was actually supposedly living in what used to be the City Hall. Upstairs there, where
No
Michael
kidding.
Michelson now lives.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I remember a scene where he was walking sadly up the steps.
There's no other way to walk up those stairs. There's 23 of them.
Right.
Amazing.
Is there 23?
There's 20. I only know that because of Michael. But yeah, there's 23 of those stairs. That's amazing though. So he's like living up there. I mean, that's cool. I don't know why I thought Simpatico was a little bit earlier than it was. It was 1999.
Yeah.
And you heard it here first from Tim Holland. Huge flop. Huge flop. Big disappointment.
Yeah.
But the Alan Forbes came back for redemption on Silver Bells at Christmas, and it's going to be on Hallmark, I think, at some point. So.
While you guys were chatting,
Or
I
not.
keep looking here to find more Woodford County connections. And so now we've got number 5, Right to Party. One of
Yeah.
the breeders, Tim Thornton.
Uh-huh.
We know
Yep.
Tim. He's
Oh, yeah.
an Airdrie stud.
Looks like George W. Bush.
He does looks just
Looks
like him.
just like George W. Bush. Does anybody know this about
Yeah.
Tim Thornton? He looks just like George W. Bush.
I think if you've seen him, you know it.
Yeah, okay. All right.
So he's the breeder.
Nice
on
guy.
that one.
Real nice guy.
And the co-breeder, that horse, Tony Holmes, he's actually from New Zealand. And he's a guy that I've known since before I came. I worked with him in England briefly back in 1984, I think was. And him and Tim Thornton are big buddies, and they bred a lot of horses together. This horse, I think, it would be a rich strike situation.
Okay, yeah,
if
love it.
this horse was to win.
I love
just
it.
Don't
Well,
see
it's
it.
got a great name.
You might get a rich strike if you
Right
bet
to
on him.
party, yeah.
So, Tim, thanks so much for coming and sharing your insights. I mean, this is like so
Lovely.
invaluable. Like,
Yeah.
people should be paying for this kind of information. But to go out on today's episode I know this is sort of a loaded, not loaded, but an obvious question. But I mean, looking at all these connections to Woodford County, Midway, is there any other county that can really claim to have, like, year after year, this many connections to the Derby? I just can't imagine that there are.
Not really, no.
Yeah,
No,
isn't that
I mean,
incredible?
that's,
Year after year. This isn't like
yeah.
1 year. It's like every year we have this many connections to the Derby. That's so cool. That's
Yeah.
so cool. I think it makes Derby even extra exciting around here. It's coming up soon. It's an early Derbs, as we call it in the industry. Yeah, anytime it's May 1st or 2nd, we call it early Derbs.
Okay.
Yeah, May 7th is late Derbs. So we got an early Derbs this year. May 2nd, exciting times. Midway, by the way, will be hopping. It always is on Derby. And the Oaks before is always a great vibe down here. So come down, check out all these new places. Check out the places that have been around. Support local.
I saw that Bluegrass Distillers, I think, is going to be doing some Derby
Yes,
stuff. So
another
it's
great
also a
time.
great
Yeah,
spot
this
to
is
watch
so
it.
much great place to watch Derby. Great place to do the Oaks here and everything. And you heard it here first from Tim Holland. You heard his you heard his picks. He thinks Further Ado. He thinks Chief Wallaby. He thinks Renegade. Not necessarily in that order.
Yep.
But keep an eye on those
That's
horses.
exactly right.
Keep an eye on those horses. And thanks for listening, everybody. And Tim, thanks again for being here.
Thank you for
Emily,
thank you
Katie,
for having
Marie,
me.
appreciate everybody. Awesome. We'll see you next time.